Hello there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Gramma. In case we haven't met yet, and this is the first time you are hearing me or seeing me, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below so that I know. Because this piece called What's She Up To Now is actually my journaling and documenting what I'm doing as I'm transitioning from the traditional brick and mortar world of business, and as traditional as it gets, manufacturing, and a stint in real estate and a little network marketing and a lot of corporate America and a lot of retail and a lot of restaurants and bars, all kinds of weird things, and then a few other strange industries and businesses sprinkled in there just for fun. But this is me documenting and sharing what I'm doing as I build my online Pajama Gramma world so that I can actually do the things I love to do, help the people I like to help in my pajamas. That is what appeals to me about the whole laptop life, digital nomad type of existence. Excuse my voice. Some days my voice is cloggy in the morning and I can barely get the words out. And there's a big wind. I actually had to close the windows a little bit behind me because they were blowing my hair. And my hair is in curlers, for goodness sake, so if it can blow my hair in curlers into my face, those couple of hairs that'll get in your face and tickle your nose and make you crazy. Maybe women with long hair or men with long hair are the only ones that bothers. And I think some people it doesn't bother at all, but it does bother me. So we'll try with a big drink of coffee and see if that helps. So what am I up to now? What am I sharing that's working and what's not working? And I titled this one Focus, Pajama Gramma Focus, because I did one of those things yesterday that we so often do when we're learning new things and growing a new business. I did the things I need to do that I set for myself every day, had a couple coaching calls, but then when I was supposed to be doing some of the things I like to do during the day, processing things, I found that I was being attracted to the topic of branding. And part of that is because, and I mentioned this before, I haven't really done much online. Excuse me, that's just crazy. I need more lemon water this morning. So I've done a lot of stuff, like as I've heard and learned about things in social media over the last decade or so. Even while, I guess I haven't been in corporate America for a decade, but even when I was in corporate America and the internet was first being developed, I was dabbling and studying and learning. I wasn't learning in earnest, but I was dabbling. And so I created things like when Facebook came out, because that wasn't when I first got on the internet, but when Facebook came out, I started a Facebook profile and Twitter and a couple of other things. But who I was when I started those accounts and what I was like and what I was doing is so different than what I'm doing now. It's very different. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so different. I mean, I was a corporate America quality executive and engineer and manager. I've gone from that since I started learning about the internet. And I want to think if what I was doing when I started learning about the internet, it was actually when we lived in our other house. So it was, or started dabbling and studying things online, was like 20, at least 20 years ago. So say 20 years ago or so, could be longer, but whenever the internet became available to those nerds of us that were engineers that started looking into it, I started dabbling. And as such, I've created my presence, my online presence is like all over the board because I've changed and grown in 20 years. We all change and grow in 20 years. And part of the coaching I've been getting now is you need to put out this unified front on all your social media platforms. So when people look you up or find you, however they find you, they find a consistent picture. Well, like so many entrepreneurs, I don't have like just one thing that I've done. I mean, I did Italian food manufacturing for 35 years, but while I was doing that, even the first, I don't know, not quite 20, the first 15 years of that, or I said 35 years. So the first 25 years of that 35 years, I was doing a whole lot of other things in addition to Italian food manufacturing. I was being an engineer in corporate America and a quality executive. So I did a lot of things that were, that type activities, planning quality events, certified quality management type stuff that, and things in the quality and engineering field that have absolutely nothing, like zero to do with what I'm doing online now. Of course, all of it has coagulated to make me who I am, which some people are probably thinking, all right, you're a frickin' lady with curlers in your hair and a magnifying glass on the internet talking to us. So, wow, good for you. And you know what? Good for that. Good for you if you're judging that. Probably shouldn't be watching me. So, my whole point is the topic of focus is I know I need to get some focus around that and figure out how do I do that and how do I make a consistent picture, at least across the major platforms. Because as I think of all the platforms I've interacted with over the years, I am not interested in going back. I'm not interested in going and changing anything. I'm just interested in, maybe updating my profile pictures. I've got some profile pictures on there that I think are from the freaking 90s. I mean, the 1990s. Literally. I think one of my profile pictures on one of my, maybe not on Facebook. Nope, both my Facebooks are updated. But it was like a long time. I had that same profile picture on my Facebook for at least 10 years because I never went on Facebook and I never knew you could actually go in and change it and do things. But now I do a lot more on Facebook and I interact with different groups that I love. I even have a group. So I've created some things that just need alignment. So I got into the topic of branding and I let myself get sidetracked and go through a couple of branding things yesterday. Now, I went through a branding course, but I didn't pay $997 for a branding course. I listened to my gut and I followed trails around and I found people that I know, like, and trust. And one of them is a branding expert. And I didn't even know he was a branding expert because I haven't followed him that long. And I went through his branding. It's a full-fledged course on the front of his group, which is an amazing group. I just joined yesterday and I'm really excited to be a part of it because I don't know anything about branding. And it's not like I'm going to go in there and sell anybody in there anything on branding because it's not my area of expertise. I know nothing about branding. I mean, I know probably less than nothing about branding. If anything, I am probably the anti-brand because, and it's really funny, there's certain people that are all about the brand and there's other people like me that are like not at all about the brand. And I think again, comes down to status and what we care about and what we prioritize. One of my sisters, actually a couple of my sisters, but one in particular is like all about the brands and all about the latest, greatest, newest technology. She's a total early adopter. And then there's, me, I couldn't care less about the brand. Is it comfortable? Is it soft? Does it make me feel good? Then I want it. I'm going to buy it. I guess I pay a little bit more attention to brands now. Like, I appreciate brands that have a good social and a real social footprint, not a pretend social footprint for publicity purposes, but a real, authentic, we're trying to make the world a better place with part of what we do brand. Think, and this might get me in trouble, but think Goodwill versus an organization like a local charity like, I can't remember the name of it now because my mom works at it down in Texas, she's got a hometown in Texas and a hometown in Wisconsin. In her hometown in Texas called Fredericksburg, and I can't remember the name of it. Something, St. Vincent de Paul it is. And they're a local charity that takes in people's donations and then they give them basically to people in need. Unlike the Goodwill model that gets all this stuff for free and then sells it at exorbitant prices to people that are in need, but it's definitely a for-profit model dressed up like a charity. Like I said, that might get me in trouble. And again, that's just my opinion. But when the CEO makes millions of dollars, there's something going on there. And it's not necessarily for charitable purposes. But that, again, is all about focus and my topic about why I care or don't care about brands. And each of us are different. And there's certain things I do care about, but not very many with respect to brands, like brand-specific things. And that could be because of my background in manufacturing and my understanding of what really makes, and quality. I guess if you take my background in manufacturing and quality and you marry those together, I have a lot of inside information that allows me to see through what is actually good product, good for people things versus what is just the frosting on the cake, what is just the marketing and the sales and the show that they're putting on a thing, an object. I mean, think Coke and Pepsi and okay, think water. Think about water. It wasn't that many years ago that we didn't use bottled water, that we didn't have bottled water. And now look at all the ways that people have taken, and I mean businesses have taken water and branded water and made water seem so special and so different. And then all of a sudden you discover and find out that, yeah, it's not really artesian water or whatever. I'm not picking on artesian water, but you find out it's not, sparkling mountain water. It's just tap water from a city that's been filtered and bottled and put a fancy label on it and marketed it in a certain way. And that's, I guess, where I get my cynicism about branding, which is why it's taken me so long to look into branding, which is what got me off the topic of focus in the first place, which was the point of this update. I, like everybody else, we tend to follow rabbit trails, but I didn't go far down the rabbit hole. I just began learning, what do I need to do to get consistent, to be presenting myself in a way that's consistent and that honors what I'm trying to do in the world. So focus. I'm working on focusing today and every day because it's a constant battle for me. Some of us entrepreneurs, this might be a news flash, but we totally have ADHD. Now, I'm old enough that they didn't know what ADHD was, and it definitely wasn't anything described or diagnosed back when I was young. But I would suspect that since both of my children have ADHD, I probably have it too. And if someone were to analyze my behavior and my traits and my personality, I'm sure I would be diagnosed with ADHD. But I use it to serve me, not to harm me. But it does mean I need to really try a little harder and work a little harder and have more commitments to myself to stay focused and stay on track. So today, on track, coaching calls. I might do a webinar today. I haven't done a webinar in a while, or I'll probably just do a Facebook Live, not a webinar. But I have challenged myself to do an offer a day of some sort this month. I don't know why. I just came up with it about the 8th or 9th of the month and said, oh, I'm not making enough offers. I'm not helping people enough. I need to make an offer a day. So I'm doing that. And so far every day, the first day I missed, of course, because, I'm human, and sometimes we decide we're going to do something, and other things come up and we don't do it. So I missed the first day, but I did 2 the second day. And they're just, an offer is whatever I want, because guess what? The cool thing about having our own businesses is we get to define things any way we want. So when I say an offer, what you think of as an offer might be a full-fledged webinar or something. What I think of as an offer might be just I make a post on one of my social media accounts, say on LinkedIn, that I am available to help anybody with a certain task or with a question they might have. Just hit me up and I'll help you with this. And I'm not necessarily charging them. An offer doesn't mean you have to charge somebody something. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So every day I'm just practicing making offers. And why am I challenging myself to do that? Because I suck at it. I stink at it. I don't do it. I am an engineer, not I'm a helper, but I'm not a salesperson. So I just need to practice creating and making better, more offers for people. And that is why I challenge myself. Actually, that's why I challenge myself to do anything. That's why I challenge myself to do Facebook Lives and share what I'm doing with other people. That's why I challenge myself to stretch my comfort zone every day and do something every day that scares me. That's why I create challenges of doing anything, like making an offer a day, because I know I don't do it. I really should be saying I will do a call to action, because I don't even put calls of action on any of my stuff. I might ask people to comment hashtag pajama. Ooh, that's really risky, right? But I know that I need to personally work on that, because I can't get my value out to people and I can't share what I know with them if I don't tell them that I can help them, or if I don't give them a chance to work with me or find me, or by offering them something. I guess that's it. So focus, obviously I need focusing on offering. That's what I'm working on today. I'm going to go make my Expert Secrets group coaching lesson. And then I'm also building a scavenger hunt on the front of my Supersize Your Business group. It's almost done. It's almost done. I think I just have a couple little finishing touches to put on it, and then I have to put all the pieces in the right order. But I've made like a video a day to get that done. Because for me, if I break things down to one little piece a day, it's really, really easy to get them done. So I think it's probably the last video I need in that series. And then I'll go back and I'll put it all together and I'll watch it and walk through it and I'll say, is there something missing? Then I will probably ask a couple people. I'll probably offer for a couple people to go through that so that they can give me feedback and say, yeah, you totally missed this piece of it. Because what I'm doing on the front of my group is I said I went through a gentleman's branding group yesterday, and I'll share his name tomorrow. I don't want to meet X's name because that would be mean, and I don't want to be mean because I love what he did with it. Or maybe in the comments below I'll share it. And his name is James, Uncle Jim. But I don't know if you figured this out about me yet. I'm not great with names or things that I need to remember. That's just kind of inherent in who I am. And I would like to blame old age, but the truth is, I have always been that way. And I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I've always been that way. But I tell myself I'm that way, so I'm not. So maybe that's something I could change today. Stop telling myself I'm not good with names. But I will share that, and I'm obviously not good with keeping my train of thought either. You know, do you ever have those days where you just, things get lost and you forget what you're saying? I forgot what I'm saying, so I'm going to sign off. Have a terrific day. Do whatever you can do to move you toward your goal. Talk soon.